I looked at my daddy in his eye while he was crying in the hotel room that I paid for and said, I'll never choose that family and your family over Mash Mode and 102 PIRU. I'm in this shit for life. Down since day one. Blood in, blood out. 21 down until I rest. To all my B-dogs, I done my best. Cause my daddy had got to a point where he just like, bro, stop trying to be cool with your mama. Like, I start hating her too. Like, I start really hating her for what she put me through and what she like, how she, I seen so many people have great close relationships with their mom and their mama love them, and they can be the brokest thing in the world. We all broke, poor, struggling, but it's 5 kids in the house with their mama and they getting mama love.
That was my first time experiencing, I guess you can say, gang or whatever aggressiveness at that level. So my thing was to get him to safety and have to move out this house and move them, the rest of my family to safety, and just investigate and see who did this and find them and bring them to justice. Because it just, you know, that was just totally crazy and uncalled for.
On some shit like, JT finna go with me too. Know what I'm saying? I ain't finna just go out there, know what I'm saying? I know this with my mama at, know what I'm saying? But he basically like, JT, you wanna come to Chicago with me? I'm like, hell yeah. But how I'm gonna do that? Bitch, I got this going on. And he's like, all that shit go. I'm like, bitch, I can't. Boom.
Hey, real tone, it's some real money in the room.
I end up using some rap money that I had and like little weed hustle money or whatever to get a hotel room for a little while. Cause I just wanted to like be by myself, and I wanted to like get back at the people for what happened to me. So I get in the streets and I start doing a lot of shit. I do a chain of events and shit. I blew the car up in front of his house when he was on the way to school. I tried to make him come outside, and you know what I'm saying? I doing this a lot of shit. I was doing a lot of stuff that the city was talking about. Like, first thing they talked about, oh, they shot up AWOC house. They shot up AWOC houses on the news. They shot AWOC house up. They shot all them niggas in Mashmo house up. They shot 4, 5, 6 different niggas in Mashmo house up, and they be having shootouts in the apartment. Like, now this is the talk of the city. I'm mad. I'm furious. Like, y'all ain't killed nobody though. They ain't hurt nobody. They just steady shooting up at all these houses. Anytime we done stuff, like, as a kid, I'm a baby though. I'm just teenage years getting hit though. Whenever I'm doing something, me and Sancho getting in them cars, me, Sancho, other niggas that we slide with, me, Juice, like, when we get in them cars, getting, you know what I'm saying, we slanging iron. We doing what we're doing, so.
I was slinging that iron with Walk. We stood side by side, slinging iron. Stood on business, stood on principles, and press lines, you know what I'm saying? Every time.
When my dad is hearing through my sister and people telling my sister like, girl, your brother out here tripping, your brother and them, I just seen your brother and them hanging out the window at the ski party at such and they did this, and that. And my dad and them knowing that all this retaliations and shit that I'm doing is because of what happened. So like, I'm going back and forth from staying at Mario house, D-Money house, my Stack to the house, and then I'm getting hotel rooms sometimes. I'm getting rooms here and there, and I tell my dad to come meet me at the hotel room because I didn't want him to know where my partner's house live at, that we banging and this shit happening. Like, it's real, like, get caught slippers count. You get caught walking from the corner store with your daddy on some father-son shit, and the catch you that's been looking for you, they shoot at you while you walking from the store with your daddy. Like, we got the mamas that got shot on accident about this shit. Like, eventually it got to a point where thought nobody on my side died from these wars. It was, we always came out victorious. But it was that bad, but you got to be this precautious to prevent it. So I would have my daddy meet me at hotels, and my dad met me at a hotel one time. He was bringing up about everything and how I was living. My sister told him, everybody tell him I'm retaliating. He crying, and he grabbed me by my shirt and he like, son, you ain't been home to see your sister, baby. You, like, the family is scared to be around you. Like, you already moved out, now was like first you was already out on some young bad, you wanna be to do what you wanna do, you girl, you just wild. Now it's like the family don't want you around and I'm your daddy, I love you to death. And I'll choose you over my family, but why would you make me choose you over your own family and the step family that I built for you and all this shit? Been these last, you know what I'm saying, 3-4 years in this area, like why would you leave all that for these street like this? Like you gotta make a choice. Like I've convinced your mom and them to like think about letting you get off the streets because we scared that the next phone call we're gonna get is somebody saying you dead or you in jail forever. And I looked at my daddy in his eye while he was crying in the hotel room that I paid for and said, I'll never choose their family and your family over Mash Mode and 102 PIRU. I'm in this shit for life. I'm down since day one. Blood in, blood out. 21 down until I rest. To all my B-dogs, I done my best. Ain't no turning back from that for me. Like, what you mean? This is my family too. It was a point in time where, not because of your fault, my mama's fault, where you couldn't be my dad and my knight in shining armor, but my relationship with these type of people and us all being rejects and black sheep and misfits of families and poverty, I built a different type of love and relationship with these dudes, and I'm not gonna switch on that to be no loving son. And that probably sound crazy as to everybody in the world, but that was my reality, and that was my family. This is what I'm not no quitter. Like I'm in this shit. What it is. I accept my choices. I can't tell. I might die. I might lose my freedom. I might lose family members. I might lose whatever. But for the glory and for the respect and for my history and my heritage of being who I'm gonna be when I do grow up, I know that this part of my life is gonna be important to that story. And I'm gonna make sure that whenever my name come up in the history of Houston or in these streets of being a part of these type of lifestyles and shit, that a nigga can't say nothing bad on my name, that I wasn't what I rap about or what I'm like. That's why we're here to right now. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this interview, because every person that you've heard about me before you heard about me. My story is a Houston folk tale that people experienced. If I post a picture to this day of those times and those moments, it's gonna be hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people that's gonna react and speak of their experiences from back then. So yeah, I chose that shit over my family, and my dad couldn't believe that shit. And he was heartbroken. And the last thing he offered me when he left, he was like, if you ever get satisfied with this bullshit that you do in these streets and you don't die, I promise you, because I know a part of the reason why you go so hard with this shit is because of your mama. Because my daddy had got to a point where he just like, bro, stop trying to be cool with your mama. Like, I start hating her too. Like, I start really hating her for what she put me through and what she like, I seen so many people have great close relationships with their mom and their mama love them, and they can be the brokest thing in the world. We all broke, poor, struggling, but it's 5 kids in the house with their mama and they getting mama love. They getting their mother's love. There's nothing, no love on earth like a mother's love. There's no hug like a mother's hug. There's no consoling of the pain of a child or confusion of a child like the assurance that comes from a mother. I only had my father. Stern love, stern discipline, stern emotional connection, stern, tough. yes sir, no sir, everything like that. But I'm still bad than the bitch and don't give a fuck.
Right. After the house gets shot up, his pop really Walk was not even staying at his pop's house. That's what was so crazy. That's what really f***ed me up. I'm so mad at Pop. Like, man, you done got my you done finna send my out to the Chicago. So when Pop's telling Walk like, yo, you finna pack your shit, you going to Chicago, Walk on some shit like, shit, JT finna go with me too. Know what I'm saying? I ain't really just go out there, know what I'm saying? I know this where my mama at, know what I'm saying? But he basically like, JT, bitch, you wanna come to Chicago with me? I'm like, yeah. But how I'm gonna do that, bitch? I got this going on. And he's like, all that shit, let's go. I'm like, I can't, bitch. Boom. He go to Chicago, know what I'm saying?
When my dad had offered me to go, I thought about it for a couple weeks and then I said, F it, because I wanted to see my mom and like try to maybe like get some closure and some peace within myself to not just always want to just aggressively react to shit. So that was when I went to Chicago when I was like between the ages of 16 to 17.
Yes, had to get him out of here, drove him to Chicago, me and my friend, Mr. Winfield, because that was my first time experiencing, I guess you can say, gang or whatever, aggressiveness at that level. So my thing was to get him to safety and had to move out this house and move them, the rest of my family to safety and just investigate and see who did this and find them and bring them to justice. Because it just, that was just totally crazy and uncalled for.
He go to Chicago, know what I'm saying? Everybody missing my nigga, know what I'm saying? I want to say he stayed out there like 8 months. He stayed out there for a while, but I ain't gonna lie. This would made Mass Mode kind of hot about Walk because they felt like bro was running, but bro was a kid, know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to tell the Mass Mode niggas like, bro, a kid, he don't got no say so, know what I'm saying? He like, niggas staying at my house, nigga. Everybody like saying they staying at my house. Or, bitch, we don't go home. Walked and graduated, know what I'm saying? Walked and paid to graduate and did all this whole live ass shit to get out of school early. So everybody kind of mad at bro. They ain't mad, they just like disappointed type shit. Like, damn, why bro just up and leave like it was his choice, know what I'm saying? Like he wanted to go, know what I'm saying? So everybody like, damn, JT walked and burnt out, know what I'm saying? We done did all this shit for bro. So I feel like for some niggas, know what I'm saying, they can hate me. I really don't give a damn. But for some niggas, that's when they start putting hate towards Walk when his daddy made him move to motherfucking Chicago, man.
My shit got shot up too. Like a lot of niggas got shot up, for both sides. But yeah, my shit done been hit up. You know what I'm saying? I never done no shucking and driving, no relocating, or none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I remember that situation when that shit happened with Walt. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that shit happened, man. And it was crazy. Like I say, bro was still, like I said, a little younger, but I believe he was in high school around this time for sure. He was in by high school, yeah, when that happened. It is like, man, shit, bro. I think bro went to like Chicago. He went somewhere up north after that shit took place, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like lay low or some shit, you know what I'm saying? So, but I remember that shit, man. I was like, damn, cause like I say, man, shit, we faded to black. When that shit happened, if my people high, it like, shit, yeah, man, activated, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no relocate.
My dad offered me that if I slow down on the street shit, like trying to get my retaliation for shooting up my house, cause shooting, I done been shot at so many times and I didn't take it as personal. I would, of course, I would fight and shoot back, or we keep the beat going, but I had a different type of vendetta when my house got shot up. Cause I felt like that's bitch anyway. Like, why y'all shooting at a house instead of me? Why y'all shooting at people that don't got nothing to do with this shit? Y'all know I don't live in my house. Like, everybody know I don't live over there no more. Like, I'm so popular, bro. Like, I'm still a kid rapper. You can go on YouTube and Google these years I'm talking about. I got YouTube videos in these same years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still known. So it's like, everybody know I live in these apartments. Everybody know we've been having fights and shootouts in these apartments, and we've been on these apartments from 3rd Ward and South Park and Southwest. We was in Cullen Park to greenhouse patios, cattails, Bob White, and then 3rd Ward, and all them different apartments in 3rd Ward, like on McGregor Street, and like it's like these little apartments is right there on McGregor. Before you buy them, by these little, what's the name? These like old folks homes, like these old folks homes that's on McGregor. It's like these little trap apartments in the little corner to the left we used to stay in them houses. Yeah, everybody in high school knew we would bring, cause we was out in high school still having apartments, like 15 and 16, 17, we still having apartments and shit. Like, everybody knew, bro. We was popular, stealing cars, having cars, like, knew. So like, I took that shit a different type of personal when they shot at my house, cause y'all knew them other niggas lived with their parents. Y'all knew I didn't live with my parents. So y'all know when y'all shooting up in my house, y'all not shooting at me, y'all know this. So I took it a different type of personal. I reacted different. So my dad offered to take me back to Chicago, cause he used to hate for me to go to Chicago. He ain't like for me to go to Chicago, cause I used to give bad influence out there too. Chicago been gangster, been shooting, and like, it wasn't as bad as it is now, but it's always been that influence that I've always been very accustomed and known, acquainted with gang culture. I've been raised around GDs and vice lords throughout my whole life. Every year that I ever lived in Chicago, I was around GDs and vice lords. My uncle is a big GD, he's a governor GD. My whole block is a vice lord block that used to be GD back in the day. They all turned vice lord. The two streets connected to my street behind my street was always vice lord, and they moved over to my grandma's street, 73rd and Ada, and took over 73rd and Ada. That is all vice lord. The 73rd and 1300 and 73rd and Ada is GD. 1200 and 73rd and Ada is vice lord. So I've always been around all that shit.
Hey, real tone, there's some real money in the room.
I wasn't living with my parents no more. By 15, I moved out. I graduated school at 16. I got kicked out of all the school districts that I was in before being, and I stayed too far, and I ain't had nobody that lived in Harris County for me to go to a school in Harris County for it to make sense. So I ended up going to one of them behavioral high schools where you can go to there for one semester and get your high school diploma if you smart enough, but you just put the time and go there for one semester. But it's all bad people that's there. They bad, but you still not stupid though. But everybody that got kicked out of school, pregnant early, that type of shit. Right. So I graduated when I was 16 from it's called Second Chance Academy. That's what it was called, Second Chance. So I was already out of school.